My friends, today I want to speak to your heart because heaven is whispering something extraordinary. There are moments in life when God begins to shift the atmosphere around you, when signs appear, when your spirit becomes restless, and when love begins to move in places you cannot see. And right now, the message is clear. Someone is being prepared to step into your life with commitment, with honor, and with marriage on their heart. But before this blessing arrives, God has something important, something powerful that He wants you to hear, because a promise without preparation is a burden, and a blessing without understanding can be lost. Heaven sees your tears, your patience, your loyalty, and your silent prayers. And today, God wants to guide you, protect you, and position you so that when this person arrives, you won't miss what He has already ordained. So listen closely, because this message is for you. Heaven is always at work, even when we cannot see it. The spiritual world moves in ways that are often invisible to the human eye, profoundly real in their impact on our lives. One of the most powerful truths you need to understand is that God is actively preparing someone's heart for you. Preparation is not random. It is deliberate, intentional, and divinely orchestrated. Just as God shapes rivers to flow in a certain direction and cultivates the seasons so that crops grow at the right time, is also shaping the character, mind, and spirit of the person who is meant to walk into your life. Every trial they face, every moment of reflection, every tear and prayer they have offered has been part of this divine training ground designed to equip them to love in the way that aligns with God's perfect will. They may not even be fully aware of the spiritual work taking place within them, but heaven is quietly molding them, refining their understanding of love, commitment, patience, and faith. They are being taught lessons that only experience can provide, lessons about integrity, humility, perseverance, and the value of a true covenant relationship. Meanwhile, your prayers, your patience, and your growth are also being noticed by God. Just as He is preparing their heart, He is preparing yours, is aligning your spirit to recognize and embrace the love that is approaching, ensuring that when your paths finally cross, the meeting will not be accidental, rushed, or marred by immaturity or misunderstanding. Preparation in this sense is more than just learning to love another person. It is a comprehensive spiritual readiness, encompasses emotional maturity, the ability to communicate with compassion, the humility to forgive, and the courage to trust again after disappointment. God is orchestrating circumstances in their life, opportunities, challenges, even mistakes that will teach them resilience and patience. These experiences are shaping their soul so that when they enter your life, they will do so with a heart that understands commitment, a spirit that can honor love, and a faith that aligns with God's purposes. The angels are watching this process with precision, for every moment of preparation is a step closer to the fulfillment of heaven's plan. They are ensuring that when the timing is right, both hearts will meet not out of desperation or convenience, but out of divine alignment, readiness, and obedience to God's will. You may feel moments of doubt, wondering why this person has not yet appeared or why the timing feels delayed. But the truth is that preparation cannot be rushed. God does not bring two souls together until He is satisfied that each is ready to embrace the depth of what He intends for them. Preparation ensures that the love which blossoms between you is resilient, enduring, and built on a foundation that cannot easily be shaken. It also protects you from pain that could arise from a premature union. When you understand that God is actively preparing someone's heart for you, you begin to see life through a lens of patience, hope, and faith. You recognize that delays are not denials, that distance is not rejection, and that every experience, every season of waiting, purposeful. Your responsibility is to remain faithful, to nurture your own heart, to seek God's guidance daily, and to cultivate the qualities that will make you ready to receive the love that has been carefully prepared. It is not just about waiting passively, it is about active readiness. Spiritual, emotional, and mental alignment with God's will. When the time finally comes, the person whose heart God has been shaping will enter your life not only with love, but with the wisdom, humility, and readiness to honor the sacredness of what you are about to share. Heaven's preparation ensures that your meeting is not accidental, your connection is not superficial, and your relationship is destined to fulfill the purpose that God has ordained. You begin to understand that divine timing, spiritual preparation, and heart alignment are inseparable elements of a love that is meant to last, a love that reflects God's glory, a love that is intentionally and beautifully designed. Before any blessing can manifest in our lives, there must first be alignment, spiritual, emotional, and mental alignment with God's will. Is the principle behind you must be spiritually aligned before the blessing arrives. Many people long for love, marriage, or companionship, yet they overlook the most crucial factor, the condition of their own heart. God desires that we do not merely seek a relationship for comfort, status, or fulfillment of desire, but that we prepare ourselves to receive it in a way that honors Him and the person He is sending. Spiritual alignment begins with self-examination. It requires looking inward to identify wounds, insecurities, fears, and patterns that could compromise the sanctity of the union that God intends. Without this inner work, a person may enter a relationship unready, and what was meant to be a source of joy can become a source of confusion, pain, or misalignment. Alignment also involves surrendering control. Many times we attempt to force outcomes based on timing that suits us, but God's timing is perfect, and attempting to rush or manipulate His plan only leads to disappointment. Being spiritually aligned means trusting the unseen, embracing patience, and actively seeking guidance through prayer, meditation, and reflection on God's Word. It requires humility to recognize that we do not hold the final authority over our lives or relationships. Alignment extends to our thoughts and emotions. Are we harboring bitterness from past relationships? Are we carrying fears that limit our ability to love fully? Are we seeking validation from the wrong sources? These internal states can block the flow of God's blessings if left unchecked. Spiritual alignment also means cultivating qualities that reflect God's nature: patience, kindness, humility, forgiveness, and faithfulness. When we embody these traits, we naturally attract a partner whose heart is similarly aligned, creating a foundation for a lasting and spiritually grounded relationship. Additionally, alignment is not passive, it is active preparation. It includes setting boundaries, discerning intentions, and nurturing an environment in which God's love can flourish. Requires intentional choices, like prioritizing God's principles over fleeting desires and committing to growth even when challenges arise. Many times, the one who is coming into our lives is already spiritually ready. The relationship cannot succeed unless both hearts are aligned. Alignment ensures that the relationship is not driven by temporary emotions, selfish desires, or unhealed wounds, but by a shared commitment to God's purpose. God uses this season of preparation to refine our character, to teach us patience, and to instill a deeper understanding of love that goes beyond attraction or convenience. When we achieve spiritual alignment, we are able to recognize the right person when they appear, discern the wisdom behind God's timing, and embrace the relationship with clarity and faith rather than confusion or desperation. It allows us to enter into the covenant of marriage with confidence, knowing that it is not merely a personal desire being fulfilled, but a divine plan being enacted. Alignment protects us from settling for less than what God intends, shields us from relationships that could cause heartbreak, and it positions us to receive the blessing that has been meticulously prepared by heaven. Understanding this principle transforms waiting from a season of frustration into a season of growth, preparation, and spiritual enrichment. Every prayer offered, every act of patience, every step toward personal growth is a step toward readiness. When spiritual alignment is achieved, love enters not as a chance encounter, but as a deliberate, God-directed blessing that fulfills His purpose, honors His design, and establishes a foundation for a relationship that will endure trials, celebrate joys, and glorify the Creator. A relationship that is purpose-driven carries a weight far beyond fleeting emotions or temporary attraction. It is not established merely on chemistry, convenience, or comfort. It is designed by God to fulfill a higher calling, both for you and the person entering your life. When God brings someone toward you, it is never random, and it is never without intent. Every connection, every moment of interaction, every feeling that stirs within your heart has been divinely orchestrated to align with His plan. Understanding this truth shifts the way you perceive love. It is no longer just about desire or companionship, but about contribution, growth, and spiritual fulfillment. A purpose-driven relationship requires both parties to recognize that they are vessels for something greater than themselves, calls for intentionality, commitment, and a shared vision of what God intends for your lives together. The person coming into your life has been prepared to complement your journey, not complicate it. Their presence is meant to elevate your character, challenge you to grow, and inspire you to walk closer with God. Similarly, you are meant to be a source of light, encouragement, and spiritual support for them. The union is meant to reflect God's love, demonstrate His wisdom, and serve as a testimony to the beauty of divine timing. Emotional highs and lows will come, but in a purpose-driven relationship, these moments are not mere coincidences, they are lessons. Challenges are meant to strengthen your faith, deepen your patience, and refine your understanding of commitment. Difficulties are never to discourage you, but to mold you and your partner into the people God desires you to become. In this context, love is not passive, it is active and intentional. It requires discernment, accountability, and alignment with principles that honor God and nurture mutual respect. Every decision, every conversation, Every act of care is an opportunity to build a foundation rooted in purpose rather than impulse. Furthermore, recognizing that a relationship is purpose-driven allows you to approach it with gratitude and reverence. It helps you avoid settling for superficial attraction or temporary satisfaction. Your heart understands that God's design is far richer and far more enduring than human desire alone. You begin to see that each person's strengths, weaknesses, and experiences have been meticulously woven together to complement your own journey. You learn patience, you understand that purpose cannot be rushed, and you practice faith because you know that God is orchestrating every step. A purpose-driven relationship also calls for transparency and honesty. Both hearts must be willing to communicate openly, to address fears and insecurities, and to align their goals with divine guidance. When both individuals recognize the higher calling of their union, they are empowered to make decisions that transcend selfish impulses and honor the sacredness of the covenant. Understanding transforms every interaction from a casual connection into a meaningful encounter. Every conversation from idle talk into intentional dialogue, and every challenge from a source of frustration into an opportunity for growth. When a relationship is anchored in purpose, love becomes more than a feeling. It becomes a force that shapes lives, fulfills destinies, and glorifies God. You learn to value character over appearance, integrity over convenience, and spiritual alignment over temporary pleasure. You begin to approach love with intentionality, knowing that God's design is deliberate, His timing perfect, and His purposes unfailing.